Won't break, won't miss, rich tickets, check out. We talking start like ball.
It's week 17 of the National Football League, and this one features Jaylen Warren. He comes in fourth in the NFL in rushing touchdowns this year. It's the Commanders and the Falcons. All that and more coming up next on EA Sports.
It is time for football as we welcome you to another edition of the NFL on EA Sports. So good to have you with us. Mike Tirico, Greg Olson. Matchup of a couple of teams, Greg, with one big thing in common. A new head coach from a season ago. These are always the seasons we want to see how they play out, how they can implement their plan going in.
And more often than not, Mike, as we all know, when you find yourself in position to make a coaching change, it's because the previous few seasons did not go according to plan. So the question is, did they find the right new head coach to lead them in this next era for their organization? These two teams today are hoping that this goes a long way into deciding, do they have the right guy pulling the strings? Because if you do, if you have a head coach and a quarterback, you can win for a long time in this league.
This one is fielded in the end zone, but he decides not to bring it out. So they'll take over at the 30-yard line. The Falcons set to take over here on offense. They'll be led out by the lefty from the University of Washington. It's Michael Penix.
I think the biggest thing that stood out from last week's game was when they went into the game with an initial plan, how quickly were they able to get away from that when they realized it wasn't working? I think they got a lot of unscouted looks, meaning the defense threw a lot of exotic looks at them, blitzes, different fronts and coverages, maybe things they didn't work on all week. So the key this week is understand what is the defense looking to do today and how fast can we make those adjustments if we're not having early success.
They face second down and 7. They'll go again with Robinson. Only a couple on that one. It'll set up third down. From the gun on third down. Here's Penix. Taking off, he'll try to get there.
And that's a great job defensively here on third down. Not only taking away all the options down the field through the air, but when the quarterback decides to turn it to a runner himself, they're able to converge and make the play and keep him short of the first down.
So on fourth down, the Falcons bring on Bradley Pinion to punt. And no return forthcoming. It's a touchback and will come out to the 20-yard line. The Commanders come out with the man they hope leads them into their new era. Jaden Daniels, the number 2 overall pick in this past draft from LSU. Greg, this is the man who won the Heisman Trophy with the Tigers in Baton Rouge a year ago.
Last week was really all about the turnovers. He had some success throwing for 3 touchdowns. At times, the offense was really clicking and had some nice rhythm, but he has to eliminate the turnovers. Anytime that a defense can take the ball away, their odds of winning the game significantly increase. So coming into this game, can he continue to keep the good, continue to trust that passing game to score points and be aggressive on offense, and at the same time, eliminate the bad? That's going to be the key today, and if he can do that, man, this is as good an offense as we've seen in this league.
And that last throw not going to count for much in the grand scheme of things, but it does move him over 3,000 yards passing for the season. First and 10. They'll run. This is Jaylen Warren. He'll work his way ahead for a gain of about 4. They'll try and play with some pace early on. On second down, it's Daniels. Open man downfield is Kittle. And he will score. George Kittle. Touchdown, Commanders. What a catch and run by the tight end as he takes it into the end zone and finishes the play. Greg, you know what that's like. Tight end touchdown.
Mike, so often the tight ends are considered to be the possession guys, right? They're the guy you throw it to when you need an easy catch, you need a reliable... But not this guy. He is a downfield weapon, and he just showed you right there what he's capable of.
So 7-0 the score, and set now for the dynamic kickoff. Ray McLeod on the return. Nice job by the return team as he takes it across the 30-yard line. The Falcons offense going to take over now for the second time. They were forced to punt the first time through. It led to a touchdown, so down 7-0 as they get the ball back for 1st and 10. The drive will begin here with a run by Robinson. And he'll manage only the 34-yard line. He's brought down after a short gain. They'll come up on a 2nd down and 8. Pitts is the man in motion. On 2nd down, here's Penix. Short throw taken by Pitts. He'll get about 6 before he's taken down.
The drag route. We used to say this is day one install. Every single offense in the NFL has this sort of route, especially for the tight end position. And depending on the speed and the run after catch ability of the tight end, sometimes it can lead to some of the biggest gains.
Here's Bradley Pinion now. He's on to punt for the 2nd time in this opening quarter. And that one not placed as well as he had hoped. It's all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. The Commanders' offense and their running back, Jaylen Warren, set to take over once more. And he's been a workhorse in the backfield this season, right there amongst the league leaders in rushing late in the campaign.
Here we go. Reload. Check out.
On the ground, it's Warren to start the drive. Nice gain here. He's going to be marked down at the 35-yard line. They'll look to pick up the pace.
That's good for a Commanders first down. First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Cowboy 80. Bronco 80.
Now some movement up front. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time here today. Here's a handoff to Warren, running left. A modest gain, maybe 2 yards. It's 2nd down.
32-yard line. A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 13.
70 Lions. 79 Broncos. 19 Lions.
On play action, Daniels. He's got his tight end. There's Ertz. So they'll talk over what to do on this 3rd down play as we have hit the end of the first. 3rd and 9.
Let's go now.
Man in motion is Brown.
18, Pioneer. 19 tight, 19 tight. 60 Maverick, 60 Maverick. Trap 60, trap 60.
On 3rd down, they'll throw with Daniels. That's going to be pulled in by Brown. And he will score. Hollywood Brown. Touchdown, Washington. That's his 8th touchdown of the season. A beautiful combination in the air there. The pass downfield and bringing it the rest of the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And it's really just a great route, Mike, and then a beautiful throw. The accuracy of the throw is what allowed the receiver not only to secure the catch, but then be able to turn it up and finish the play and find himself in the end zone.
The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. He'll take it in at the goal line. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. The Falcons offense ready to take over once again. They're staring at a 2-touchdown deficit, 14-0. The score as the offense tries to regroup and get going with 1st and 10. To the right, that's Pitts.
And this is where the versatility of the tight end position really starts coming into play. Not only do they have to line up with their hand on the ground, but they can occasionally split out in the slot. And man, they're too fast for linebackers, and a lot of times they're too big for defensive backs.
On 2nd down, Penix. Taking off.
Well, let's give credit here to the coverage unit, Mike. There was nowhere to go with the ball for that quarterback. He had no choice but to just tuck it down himself, and he's able only to pick up a short gain.
Here's a 3rd down and 4. Throwing is Penix. Now a screen going to be set up for Robinson. And he's going to have enough for a 1st down. He's out of bounds after a gain of 5.
One of the easiest ways to negate these really in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. And sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. But really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
And he's going to be taken down right at midfield.
Well, let's give some credit to the big boys up front in the trenches. They knew that blitz was coming. They held up just long enough that the quarterback could get that ball out safely and results in a completion.
That's to Pitts, the tight end. That's his 3rd catch of this 1st half and good enough for a 1st down.
This may look like a simple connection, Mike, just pitch and catch, but I can promise you the amount of time these two guys have spent together on the practice field, in the meeting rooms, just getting on the same page, seeing the game through the same set of eyes, it makes what's pretty difficult seem a lot easier.
That's deep for the back of the end zone.
So much of that play comes down to the defender's positioning. Being able to get himself to a spot, to get his hands on the ball, and a chance at that pick. Mike, when that ball was thrown, me and you were sitting here saying, that's a touchdown. And instead, they force a turnover, and now their offense is back on the field.
The drive begins at the 20. Here's 1st and 10.
Let's go.
They'll start this on the ground with Warren. And he surges forward for a gain of about 5. This offense moving quickly, and they'll try to get set.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Once again, it's Warren. Trying to find somewhere to move forward, but nothing going. Tackled for the loss of a yard.
Anytime the running back is forced to chop his feet in the background and never get to top speed, you know that play's not going anywhere. That's exactly what the defense was able to force here by getting penetration. Great job there, stopping this play before he had a chance to even get started.
Here's a screen set up for Warren. They get 14 out of the screen, and it's a first down.
It's a gain of 14 yards. And the Commanders' first down.
From the shotgun, it's Daniels. Laying out, and he made the catch. What a play.
Ready up.
They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10.
Go. Ready to look.
Man in motion is Brown.
Buffalo 18.
On 1st and 10, here's Daniels. A hit as he throws there. It's going to wind up incomplete, but pressure got to him that time, and it'll set up 2nd down.
Up until that incompletion, they've done a really nice job on this drive, Mike, picking up fresh sets of downs. And typically, throwing the ball on 1st down is a great way to do it. But now they find themselves in 2nd and 10. Do you keep it in the air and try to get the 1st down here? Or is the idea to just make 3rd down manageable and take your chances picking up a key 3rd down?
Daniels trying to get his guys to line up quickly.
3rd and 6.
18 rapid. 18 rapid. 70 range. 70 range.
On 3rd down, they'll set up to throw. He'll take a shot here for the end zone. That is going to be hauled in. He's got it. Jalen Hyatt. Touchdown, Commanders. And the show continues. What a first half he's had, Greg. A 3rd touchdown pass with that one.
Mike, what stood out to me the most so far is just the amount of space these guys have had to operate in. I think if I'm this defensive coordinator, me and my staff at halftime are revisiting this game plan. They obviously felt good about it coming in, but I don't think there's anything to feel good about thus far.
Prater on to attempt the extra point. He's got it. And the Commanders will stake themselves to a 21-0 lead. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. This kick is fielded in the end zone, but no move to bring it out. It's touchback, and that ball will come out to the 30-yard line. On 1st down, it's Penix. Complete. Former 1st-round pick Drake London with the catch. And he'll be tackled up around the 45-yard line. They'll throw on 1st down with Penix. He'll get this to the former Bear, Darnell Mooney. And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line.
It's been a rough first half, but now as we approach halftime, Mike, you got to start getting some wins. And it could be something small like we just saw here. Some positive plays, build a little confidence on that sideline. So as you go into halftime, you have something to build on.
The Commanders will signal for the first of their timeouts. Clock stops with a little under a minute to go in this 2nd quarter. Set to go now on 1st and 10.
Let's go now.
From the gun, here is Penix. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on 1st down. They'll come up now for 2nd down and 4. Throwing again, it's Penix. And a good effort there defensively. It's knocked away and incomplete.
It's rare to see an offense that finds themselves trailing and say, well, their quarterback's been actually one of their biggest bright spots. Usually that doesn't go hand in hand, so it's a little surprising to see him miss a throw like that on a day where he's completed passes at a highly efficient rate.
Penix on third down. He'll try and get there on the ground. Now a timeout here by Washington. That is their second, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Fourth down, and the Falcons turn to Younghoe Koo for the field goal. This will be from 47 yards. Koo's kick is good. And the Falcons are on the board just before halftime.
And that's a really nice boost here before the break. I mean, you work the clock well, you're able to steal some points. The biggest thing is you're able to build a little momentum now going into the locker room at halftime.
This one is fielded in the end zone, but he will not bring it up. It's touchback, and this drive will begin at the 30-yard line. They do try to run it out as they start on the ground. And a minimal gain here, only to about the 31. Now here's a timeout. They're going to take it with 8 seconds remaining until the break. Here's 2nd and 9.
Mustang 19. 60 Bobcat. 60 Bobcat. Cup 19. Cup 19. 7 Pirates. 7 Pirates. Warriors 70. Ready.
Off the play fake, here's Daniels. Now he'll air this one out deep for Hyatt. That's going to wind up incomplete. Not much time remaining. Time for one more snap here in this first half.
I'm not going to sit here, Mike, and throw the guy a parade for ultimately what was an incompletion, but can we just take a second to appreciate the arm strength he was able to show there? I mean, I think that ball is over 60 yards in the air, and I would be surprised if they continue to just air it out and see if they can complete one of those.
He's going to dial up another deep ball. That's caught! And he will go all the way. Jalen Hyatt, touchdown Washington. His 2nd touchdown of this first half.
Mike, I'm not sure how else to put it other than this is just a complete defensive breakdown. I mean, from where this ball was snapped, you simply have to just defend the end zone, and if they throw it short, come up and rally tackle. If they throw it in the end zone, high point the ball and knock it down. You cannot give up 6 points to end this half.
And the kick is good. So what a finish to this first half as they extend the lead. And no rest for the weary. Let's get right back to it. Quarter number 3 set to begin. Very one-sided first half of action. Will we get a turnaround? Let's find out. The third quarter is underway. Woo. Good return, but he pays the price at the end. Picked up and thrown down. So they come to the line for first down and 10.
Come on. Let's go.
They'll run straight ahead with Warren. And good blocking up front, paving the way for a gain of 8 on the ground. Here's 2nd and 2. They'll stay on the ground with Warren. And he's got it. First down. A pickup of 4.
This is a situation that play callers love to be in, Mike. They have all their options on the table. Second and short, play action pass, you can run. In this case, they choose to keep it on the ground, play it safe, pick up the first down.
A run here with the veteran. It's Austin Eckler. And he'll take this forward for about 3. It's second down. A run up the middle with Warren. Good running there. He's got the first down inside the 30.
Second down at these distances, Mike, you pretty much anticipate a pass, and I think that's what the defense was lined up thinking. In this case, they leave a little too much room on the ground, and the offense is able to pick up a first down.
On the zone read, here's Daniels. No dice there. He is met and tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
The decision whether to keep the ball or to hand it to the back happens so fast. In this case, the quarterback thinks it was a keep read. The defense was there ready to stop him. Tackle for loss.
19 Lions.
From the gun, it's a give to Eckler. And he'll only manage to pick up 3 yards. And that leads to third down. From the shotgun on third down, Daniels. And he'll try to use that size and push forward, but it will not work. They're going to get him down behind the line.
A loss of a yard. It's fourth down.
The Commanders will signal for the first of their timeouts. The veteran Matt Prater now out to try this field goal. This a 46-yard attempt. Prater's kick is good. And the Commanders add on to their lead.
I think at this point in the game, Mike, when you have things under control, not only were they able to hold on to the ball for a while, they still were able to manage to add 3 points.
The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. This one will be taken in the end zone. No run back forthcoming, and the ball coming out to the 30-yard line. The Falcons offense getting ready for their opening possession. They're in need of points in a big way as they set out on 1st and 10. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45.
The ability to be effective on first down, Mike, it just makes everything else easier. In the event you do have to face a third down the road, they're usually a lot more manageable situations, a lot easier to convert.
So, 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return. They'll work now on 2nd and 4.
Let's go now.
Out of the shotgun, it's Penix. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing third down.
It's always a risky decision anytime a quarterback tries to force the ball, especially into those tightly contested areas. Not a lot of daylight, not a lot of room for error. In this case, it just falls simply as an incomplete. But as this game unfolds...
And they get to him and finally bring him down. It will go down as a sack.
This is where the playmaking ability almost can be a detriment to a running quarterback. They have such confidence in their ability to keep plays alive with their legs that sometimes they hold it just a little bit too long, thinking they can make the next big play. And good job by the defenders tracking him down and took him down for a loss. Defense does a nice job here initially using zone coverage to take away the middle of the field. That's the most valuable real estate in football. Quarterback gets off his first read, sees some openings to the sideline, and him and his receiver are able to connect.
Here's 2nd and 6. From the gun, it's Penix. He's got his man. It's Mooney. And they're going to be set up in the red zone. They've got it inside the 15.
One-sided game, but how often do we see in the fourth quarter the team that finds themselves down by a lot, they start to come alive? I think it's a combination of trying to end the game on a positive note, but also sometimes that defense getting a little lackadaisical.
False start, offense.
Here's Penix. That's complete to Jeremy Ruckert.
How fast things can flip. You find yourself in 1st and a mile after taking a penalty on 1st down. But that chunk play there in the passing game now gets them back in sequence with the chains and brings up a more manageable 2nd down.
Now Penix to throw on 2nd down. And they'll stop him just short of the goal line, but they are going to have enough to convert. It's going to be 1st and goal.
Let's go.
Again, it's Penix. And that is caught in the end zone. He's in. Darnell Mooney. Touchdown, Falcons. Younghoe Koo now for the extra point. The kick is good. And the Falcons are able to edge a bit closer. So the late score gets them a bit closer to respectability. They'll try to get even closer with an onside kick.
You have no choice. You find yourself down big here late in the fourth quarter, Mike. You got nothing to lose. Give it a shot. Nice job here by the hands team recovering. They're going to take over.
Here comes the Washington offense now. They get set to take over. And as we look back at some of the highlights of this one, Greg, definitely a lot to show from the passing game.
Yeah, and as good as the offense feels about their passing game, I think if you're on the defensive side of the ball, you've got a lot of learning to do because you just get burned time and time again. You'd think at some point you'd make an adjustment and make a correction. So at this point, they've given up 4 touchdown passes. You're just not going to win a lot of games in the NFL giving up that production in one phase of the game. With how fast they were all over that play, you almost wonder, Mike, was there a pre-snap tell? Did they know that play was coming? Because I'll tell you, that defense was on it from the start.
So, 2 minutes to play here in the second half. Greg and I back on EA Sports after this. Got to get it to the 28, but now it's third down.
Here we go.
Working out of the gun, it's Daniels. He manages to get the throwaway and completes it. Going to be set up in the red zone. They've got it inside the 15.
What a luxury. There's certain teams, when they have a guy like this, I mean, not only is he the big target, but then to have that size and speed to run away from these linebackers and do so much of his damage after the catch.
And a strong first down run, a pickup of 9, setting up second and short.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up second and a yard.
On the ground, this is Warren. And he will have the first down. Not a huge run, but enough to move the chains.
Let's go now. Go.
Here's Warren. We're trying to push forward, but only a yard. Down to the 2. Even with the lead, they're trying to press the tempo.
Brings up second and goal. At the 2-yard line.
Chop 60. Chop 60. Stop below 18. Take go.
Daniels to throw on second down. And this is going to be a touchdown. They are going to extend. So it's a win here for the Commanders. They bounced back from the loss last week. Really put in a determined effort to come away with the victory.